Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my 2021 Classics TBR. If you've been following me for a while, you might have noticed that I have said that classics are one of the toughest kinds of books for me to read. This is mainly because of the time period during which the classics have been written in the past. That's why they are classics, right? They make sense even today after decades or centuries after the time they were written. The language is one of the main hindrance for me when it comes to classics because I like smoothly written books, that is modern works of literature easily. But classics are certain things which are written with a lot of intention. Each and every sentence in most classics are written with a lot of intention, and a lot of work is put into each and every sentence written by any author. So it will take a bit of time for anyone to read, consume, and understand those stuff. I was not that kind of reader, and I'm trying to make myself better in that way. And also, apart from this, one of my main goals for reading in 2020 was to read at least one classic per month, which I did not end up doing in 2020. So I've decided to take just 6 classics as a whole, and I'm going to try and read all these 6 by the end of 2021. I'm not going to include any other classics in any of my TBRs throughout 2021. Let's just try if I'm able to read all these 6 classics by the end of 2021 or not. Also, if you have read any of these 6 books, please do let me your views on them, and also if you have any tips on how I can read these books, those also are very much welcome. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. The first classic is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I just feel so much of shame while holding this book because it was on my TBR for January 2020 and I have not read it yet. I've tried to read it twice or thrice during the whole period of 2020, and I was not at all able to go past like 50 pages of the book. It's not even that long, it's just 150 pages long. It's a very short classic, yet I was not able to push through it because the language was so dense. Okay, I was not at all able to understand most of the sentences because I'm not that type of reader who can stop between sentences and just try and understand them easily. I want to go with the flow and understand the story as such, but it was not like that. Also, I've heard that this is basically a love story, but this entire scope of the story is not just the romance, but also certain socio-economic issues that are dealt, especially in America. And since America is one of the main, when it comes to the economic state of the world, USA plays a major role in it, right? So the socio-economic status of America, as well as people in general, how one sees richness associated with the other qualities of a person's being. Those are certain things that have been explored in this book, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong, okay, because I have not read the entire book yet, but I'm going to try and read this as soon as I can. And also, one of the things which I've put in my mind severely clear is that I'm not going to rush through any of these classics in my TBR. I'm going to take my sweet time and read them slowly because I don't want to DNF them any further. So let's just see if I end up liking this or not. The next one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Now, this is also another book which I had actually put in my one of my TBRs in 2020. I don't remember which month. It must have been some month during the summer, because I remember very well that I thought of taking this up, but I didn't even start it, mainly because I was like very much intimidated because I had DNF'd one book just a couple months before I started this. I was planning to start this one, and that was one of the most loved classics. Okay, whenever I said classic, that was one of the books which people just which came out of the top of people's heads always, and I didn't even end up reading such a famous book. I was very much intimidated to get into this one, so I just kept it as such. Another main thing which I've heard about Wuthering Heights is that there's a great misconception that people have while picking up this book. They think that it is either a romance or a family story, but rather than that, it is categorized as a tragedy. And I do like reading tragic stories because sad stories are those which stick with me for a longer time. Okay, happier stories, I do remember them, and while I'm happy, I like to remember sad stories, but happy stories. But while I'm sad or happy or any other mood rather than just being happy, sad stories are certain things which I just recollect certain things, and I also think that sad stories teach us more lessons rather than happy stories ever could and ever will. Also, I'm very much interested in reading this because it's a family tragedy. Okay, I don't like tragedies happening within families. In any other thing, it's okay, but I'm very much interested to pick this one also. Also, this copy of mine is really it's very malleable. Okay, I didn't even notice this before picking it up for the video. It's so soft. Okay, it's not even long. It's just 400 pages, so it will not take a lot of time to read. Also, I like this kind of edition for classics rather than any other edition. I like the collector's editions, like they come in metallic colors, right? I like those editions, but when it comes to paperback, I just like this kind of editions. Also, of the other 4 books in the TBR, 2 other have similar covers. We'll just discuss them further on. The next one is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. Now, this is one of the classics which I have already read while I was in school. Okay, I didn't read it for school, but I just read it as such. I received the book as a prize, but it was not the whole unabridged version. It was a very abridged version in which the book was not even 400 pages long with illustrations. Okay, and this one is the actual full-length unabridged version, which is over 700 pages long, and the font is also really tiny. Okay, I remember reading this book and it just made me so happy because the story of David Copperfield, it started out very sad. Okay, he went through a lot of hardships. I have not at all read any other story that was that hard. Okay, in terms for the character while I was in that age. Okay, 8th standard means I was like 12 or 13. That was the age. It was almost 9 to 10 years back now. I just loved the book, okay, because it started out in a very sad note. The character went through a lot of hardships, as I said before, and eternally he just became a very successful author, and his life just ended in a happy note. That's a inspirational kind of story, right? So I just liked it a lot. Also, I want to read this unabridged version as well because I'm sure that if as I like that, I will definitely love this. The one thing which just intimidates me is the size and the small font inside the book. You can just see, right? It's really tiny, but I am going to try and read this. It will take a lot of time, but I'm going to try and read it because I just love the story for the first time. Also, it is kind of an autobiographical fiction because Charles Dickens actually shows his life story through the lens of David Copperfield, and I'm very much interested in seeing the whole view of the story rather than the way in which I see it in the abridged version. The next one, if I'm not wrong, is a comedy classic, or it's a comic classic, and it is Emma by Jane Austen. I know that all of Jane Austen's books have a kind of romance as a plot going on with the story, but this is one of those books which I think has more of comedy rather than romance. And I've also heard that Emma is the most funniest book of all of Jane Austen's books. I tried reading one of Jane Austen's books, which I'll be speaking about next. I'm very much interested in this one, mainly because I've heard that all of Jane Austen's works are good, and I'm sure that if it's a classic, it needs to be good, right? Or otherwise, it might have not withstood for this much time in the world. Also, I've heard many people loving Emma a lot, and I've also heard many people hating Emma a lot because some people say that this is one of the weakest works of Jane Austen. Yet I'm going to try and read it for myself and then determine whether it's good or not. Also, I've heard that rather than just the romance and the comic elements of the book, it also addresses many social issues in a very vivid way and a very humorous way through Jane Austen's writing. I've heard that all of Jane Austen's books are like that. That is, through her characters and the stories that she says, she just doesn't give us a beautiful love story or a story which will make us laugh or smile, but also a story which will make us think and make us discuss certain issues as a society as a whole. I'm very much interested in reading this and taking part in certain discussions regarding certain social issues. So let's see whether I end up liking it or not. The next book is the one which I actually DNF'd in 2020, and when I show the book itself, I think most people will be mad at me for not having finished it because I didn't like it. It's a very unpopular opinion of mine, and it was a DNF due to that reason. And this is also one of the main reasons why I did not pick up any other classic in 2020. Okay, because I did not want to end up not liking very good books because they will have good stories. I don't want to lose those stories, and I'm talking about Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is the most famous Jane Austen book ever, if I'm not wrong. Also, anytime I ask a person for a classic recommendation, Pride and Prejudice is the one that they say as the first thing ever. Okay, and obviously this is a romance. I tried reading it. Okay, I didn't just like read a small portion of the book and then DNF it. I powered through. Okay, I didn't even push through. I powered through half the book, and I was not able to understand most of the things at all. It might be due to my miscomprehension of the language that was used. Okay, also I was reading it at a faster pace. That might have been one of the main reasons why I did not understand many of the stuff. Also, this is one of those books which many of my friends want me to read and tell them because they are very much interested in reading Pride and Prejudice. I also not at all watched any of the movies. Okay, that have been adapted from this book. I'm very much interested to read this and critically acclaim it in many ways. Let's just wait and see, because I do think that I will like this, because the first time I read it, I did love the language, though I didn't understand most of it. This time I'm going to take my time, as I said before, and I'm going to read it as slow as I can, and just, how to say, shred all the lines as separately as I can, and just eat them and devour them as purely as possible, and I'm going to enjoy it. Let's just wait and see. The last classic in the TBR is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is gothic or horror fiction, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure in which category it belongs, whether it's a horror or it's a gothic. Gothic, as far as I know, has supernatural elements, but it's not very spooky. But horror at the same time, it is spooky, it has horror elements, and it's like a jump scare kind of genre, horror. I'm not sure which category this belongs to. It's also open source, so I can read it from anywhere. I don't even want to buy the book, but I know that I will buy the book, then only I'll read. I'm very much interested in this also, because I've not read that many scary books. That's why I didn't even make scary book recommendations for during the time of Halloween this year. So I'm going to try and read some horror novels or horror books in general, and this is a classic which I'd like to try in the genre. I consider it to be a horror because of the supernatural elements and the jump scare element of the book also. Let's just wait and see, because there are multiple editions of this book that are available, but I want to read the original totally unpublished edition. Also, I've got the audiobook for free in LibriVox as well as in Storytel. I think it will be available in YouTube also, since it is open source and we can listen to it from anywhere. Let's see if I end up reading this or not, because of all the books that I've put on my TBR, all the 6 classics that I've put on my TBR, only 2 are big. One is Dracula and the other one is David Copperfield. But of these 2, I'm more interested in David Copperfield because it is much more rooted in reality rather than Dracula. But if I'm in the fantasy kind of mode, as I usually am in, I'll usually gravitate towards stories like this one, that is Dracula. But if I'm more rooted and concentrated towards a realistic story, then I will gravitate towards David Copperfield. I don't know. Let's just wait and see. I just hope that I end up reading all these 6 classics by the end of the year. Also, if you have read any of these books, please do let me know down in the comments, and give me some tips on how to read them and what to expect from these books. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.